Okay, so now what I gotta do? I want to go in here and organize this a little bit. So I'm gonna go into the hypergraph. Let's check out what I got. Remember, I've got options, display, shape, hidden underworld nodes on, so I can see everything and I can see if I've got junk. Okay, what the heck is that? That's a group. That's my reference images there. I'll leave that alone because I'm going to come back to that probably. I've already got some stuff in a group here. La 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 la. And I've got, it looks like the glasses are in part of the group, and here, the body. Okay, and I should name everything. I don't know if I want to make you watch me do this, but I'll just take the group here, though. Let's call this Geo underscore Gerp. Okay, and there's my base head, and that's part of the geometry I'm probably going to use quite a bit. So I think I'm going to take this, and I've already made my blend shape, so I'm going to parent that under the Geo group. And this Geo group, I'm going to put it onto a layer. Is it on this layer already? It is on this layer already. And I'll just call this Geo underscore layer. Okay, all I'm doing right now is just organizing. You don't want any geometry parented to geometry. You want it just in groups. Okay, otherwise it becomes a bit of a pain in the ass. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come in here and I'm going to name this stuff. I'm just going to pause it. Okay, so I just went and I named these things. So I've got my pants, my shirt, and Geo group, and all these things. And this is all part of the Geo layer. If I take a look down here, I noticed something funky I did. When I brought things back from the ZBrush, they happen to be sitting in a kind of a strange manner. They're two objects sitting here. You know what? I actually don't like these. But one of the things I should be doing is I should go into polygons, mesh, and I'm going to go and hit separate. So my eyes are separate, and you see immediately it creates this little junk node, kill the history. And these eyes are kind of parented to a new group here. I'm just going to go and make sure they're both parented to the Geo group. And I'm just going to get rid of that eye thing there, and I can rename these as well. I like my base group kind of near the bottom, so I'm just going to do a little magic trick. Dook. I'm holding down Control and middle-click dragging, and I can sort the order in the hypergraph. Okay, otherwise you have to do it in the outliner, middle-click dragging. You don't have to hold Control in the outliner, but whatever. Anyway, so this is my left eye. I underscore L. And that one is going to be I underscore R. Okay, great. And I should also make sure that I centered my pivots on this thing. I'll just double check when I hit the move tool. I don't see it. So if I go and I hit center pivot, that's under modify, center pivot. Great. Yeah, I might replace these eyes later on just to do simpler eyes. But there we have it. And I'm happy with that, and I know it. I might take all the blend shapes here and organize those a little bit too. I'm just going to grab all the tops of them, just the top nodes here, the groups, and I'm just going to go Control G, and I'll call that blend shape group. Underscore group. And because I'm seeing them right here, it might be nice to have a layer for them, right? Underscore layer. I always put the word layer into my layers because I have less confusion. When I see blend shape layer here in the inputs, it doesn't confuse me. Or hopefully it doesn't. So I've got all these things. I'm happy, and I know it. Let's hit 5. Okay, great. And anything else I want to do? So it's just a little bit of organization. And now I'm going to start to put bones in, and I'm just trying to make a decision. Should I put... let's go ahead. Let's put the bones in. I was going to make a new video, but I think I'll just keep this one going. So, first thing I'm going to do, let's go into panels and layouts, 2 pane side by side. And good, we're in the side view on this one. And I might just go and put on X-ray joint so I can see my joints. And I always start off with my side, or my leg here. So I'm just going to go skeleton, joint tool. Sometimes I don't like the joint size stuff. I like it all to be kind of the same, and I like to dictate what I want on my own, and I can change them afterwards if I want to. Anyway, I've got them all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and I'm not going to bother with any of these other changes right now. I'm going to try to keep this really simple. And And if I go in here and I put in, say, I'll put in the root joint, I'm going to put in a pelvis type joint. Okay, and here let's just have 4, and I'm going to put in a hip joint, and there's your crotch right there. So you want to be above your crotch. Your hip pivot point is up higher than that. Okay, you might even go and lean it a bit towards the front. And then when I look over here at my knee, you can see the geometry here. You want to go kind of in the middle, favoring the front slightly. Okay, next thing, when I'm putting in my ankle, I'm looking here. There's the top of my foot, so my ankle should be down just around here someplace. Okay, I can see the back of my foot here, kind of in the middle. Okay, nice. And I'm just going to flip. Oh, it's because I got the default viewer on. Okay, that's why I was getting this kind of crappy thing. A crappy display. If I go down here, I'm going to put them on the balls of my feet and the tip of my toe. And there's my first set of joints. And let's just go and quickly name them. 6 minutes mark. Okay, great. And so that top one, I'm just going to call that root. Root. I am root. And then I'm going to go in here and put in the pelvis. Okay, I like this extra little joint that kind of goes down there for the pelvis. It just gives me, this is going to be a very simple back rig, so it's going to give me a little bit of extra maneuverability, so I get a little bit of independent hip movement without making a very complicated rig. Now I'm going to put in the knee, the ankle, okay, the ball of the foot, and then I got the toe. Okay, great. I'm just going to go, let's go and take a look over here and see what it's doing. I'm just going to grab my hip, and I'm going to go to the front view over here, and let's put the X-ray on in the front. La, la, la. I really want to finish this character off. I don't know when I'm going to have time. Okay, so anyway, I move this over. If you have to adjust where your knee position and ankle position is, I suggest trying to change the geometry. And again, I'm trying to keep this simple. But if I go in and if I want to change it, I can rotate the hip to get the ankle in place and the knee in place. But otherwise, try to move geometry. Don't move this around. You'll end up with funny leg controls. Okay. And so there's my leg. I'm happy and I know it. I'm just going to grab the hip and I'm going to go here to modify and I'm going to go prefix hierarchy names and I'll put in capital L underscore. Okay, L hip, L knee, and all those things. And then I'm just going to go into skeleton with the hip still selected. I can go over here to mirror joint and I mirror across, in my case, the YZ. YZ, Y's going up, Z's forward. I want to move across the X. I don't know why it doesn't say X, Y, Z, but it doesn't. Anyway, YZ. Capital L replaces capital R. Boop. Mirror, boom! Got what I want. Okay, let's go back to the side view. La la la. And hit 5. Then I'm going to put in some back joints. And so if I go in here and I go to the skeleton and I go to the joint tool, I'll put in some kind of belly joint. Okay, and bottom of the ribs joint here. I'm actually making a mistake right here. I'll come back and fix shortly, but I want to show you some things first. And then I'm going to go in and sometimes I put the shoulder joint in. I think, yeah, I'll put it in. And then I put in something here for the base of the neck. And I put in one in the middle of the neck. And I put one in for the head. I like that middle joint in the neck. It gives me a better deformation. And I'll put in one here for the tip of my head. And again, quickly name these things. Maybe I'll grab these first 3. Actually, if I parent it first, I'm going to parent joint 1 to the root. And then if I grab these first 3, and over here I can use my rename function, and I'm going to call these back. There. And I'll go in and I'll grab my next 3 joints, and that's going to be my neck. And then this one here will be my head tip. Head tip. Or actually, I should call it head underscore end. It's an end joint. It's one that I never really weighed anything to. Okay, great. So there's my next set of joints. They're parented in. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Next thing I want to put in. I'm going to go into the front view. And let's go and put in a clavicle. Clavicle. If I go in and I pop in a clavicle, there's my clavicle bone. Should be somewhere around here-ish. Okay, and I usually drop mine down. I put it close to the center. And when I look at it from the side view, I'm middle clicking right now and I can move it forward. Okay. And then I'm going to put one in the arm here. But let's just see, getting it into the middle of the arm is a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put on Snap to Projected Centers and see if I can get one in here. Okay, got it right in the shoulder. Kind of a nice spot right there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop one in the arm here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to backspace this because I just realized this is going to cause me problems. I'm just going to go to the top view. Yeah, there's a problem I just thought of that maybe this is going to cause. I'm going to turn off that Snap to Projected Centers because I want to have a nice straight arm in here. I'm going to put in IK handles in the arm. And I'm going to put in one here for the shoulder. And I'll put in one here for the wrist. Okay, and I'll put in one for the palm of the hand. Okay, and this is a bob thing. Remember, that's a bob thing right there. Okay, not everybody does that. So let's go back to perspective. And it all went kind of flat, but that's okay. If I go here to the front view, I can take this shoulder joint, and just kind of like the same thing with the leg joint, if you need to change the placement of this, I might try to change geometry, but I might go in and grab the rotate tool, grab the outer, there we go, something like that, and that makes me happy. Okay, that should be good. Just rotating that, trying to keep these perfectly straight. If I need to put in the, what time are you? Okay, if I need to go and put in something here for the ulna, if I go into skeleton, there's a thing called Insert Joint Tool. You click on the elbow and you drag and it puts in an ulna for you. Typically, if I have to use this, it's because I've got an exposed forearm and I want to, actually, why isn't that move tool switching on and off? Okay, great. I want this in the chain, but I don't want it directly parented to the wrist because sometimes I get some feedback orders. So if I take this wrist joint and I take this and I hit P, I can shift the order around. So this is no longer a direct parent of that, and that makes it easier for when I go in and I do any ulna type behavior. And I'll quickly name these things. There's clavicle, clav. And there's my shoulder. And elbow. That's ulna. It's actually the radius that rotates, but I like to call it the ulna because it's a very distinct name. And whoop, wrist. And pum. Okay, great. And I'm happy there. And next thing to do is my fingers. That's what I'm going to use the projected centers on here. And I'll just go ahead and grab the joint tool again. And I can pop one in your thumb. There's one here, kind of at the base of the thumb, middle of the thumb, and the thumb tip. I've noticed something really funny, that if you take this joint and then you hit backspace and then you go and hit it again, it'll actually keep the orientation of the parent that you just put in. Kind of an interesting little trick. I'm just going to hit enter. I'll do it again on the rest of the fingers. I go in and I create joint tool again and come in over here. We'll put one in here, kind of the base there. And then I think I have to look, and I think it's right around there. Okay, another one there. And then I put in this last one. Again, if I hit backspace and then I put it in, it'll be totally lined up with the other parent. And whoop. Let's go ahead and do this one. I'm just guessing where these are really quickly because I'm trying to go fast. And you can see here the orientation is lined up with the world, backspace, and then I pop it in, boom, and it's lined up with the parent. And it doesn't really matter, but it looks kind of cool that it's all lined up. Okay, and boop, 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 yip, 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 yip. There, do my little trick again. Yay. And boop. If I go in here and I pop this one in, we're on the last ones. Okay. There we go. Enter. Okay, cool. So there's all my little joints, and if I go in there and I look, there's the clav, shoulder, palm, and so this first one I do believe is the thumb. I'm going to parent that to the wrist, and if I just grab all these right away, and I go in here and I type in thumb on. And then I can maybe grab all these at the same time. Hold down Shift, and I'm going to grab the palm joint, and I'll hit P, so they're all parented in. Okay, and let's grab these ones. What are we doing for time? Okay, I should finish this off really quick. Actually, is this one? That's if I hold down, I'm holding down Control, middle clicking. There's my index is right there. So I grab all the index joints all at the same time. Index, boom, and there is middle finger. Okay, and then here is the ring a finger, and then I'll grab that, and that's pinky. Okay, great, and they're all parented together. I'm happy, and I know it. I could do a little quick trick too. If my fingers seem a little bit on the thick side, if you just grab all these joints at the same time, and you just play with the radius, I can make them smaller, and that's why I don't like using that auto thing. I like controlling these. I have better control over them. And I'm just going to grab my clavicle. I'm just going to quickly modify prefix hierarchy names, capital L underscore, boom. I'll parent this joint to that joint, P. Okay, and then I just need to do the skeleton, mirror joint, boom. There we go, and the skeleton's in place, and that's the end of this video.